Sup? Yeah, I know it's been quite a long time. In fact, it's been like 4 or 5 months since I've made a video, but I'm back, I guess, and I'm here with a brand new video. Yay! Of course, this video, much like many of my other videos, is probably going to be like a long video, but that's probably because I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite live-action Batman movie villains. Without further ado, I'm the methodical AAA. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say, if you don't like me, I don't give a doo-doo, because I'm in my early 20s now, and I've been saying that since I was like, what, 15? So I think it's time that I just, either make a completely different change or I just shorten it. So yeah, I'm the methodical AAA. Feels kind of empty, but it's going to take some getting used to. Anyway, here are my top 10 favorite live-action Batman movies.
But it's easier to justify what's bad is good, and I hate to be the bad guy. I just hate to be the bad guy.
Number 10. Born and raised in the pit, or better known as Hell on Earth, the illegitimate child of Ras al Ghul was able to rise and find his father. But after some time, Ras excommunicated his offspring for being needlessly extreme. But now, in the wake of Ras's death, the child, now taking the name Bane, seeks to finish what his father started, destroy Gotham, and as a bonus, destroy Batman. Now, why is Bane awesome? Well, apparently he's the new head of the League of Shadows, and unlike the Batman and Robin version, he seems intelligent and quite articulate. And of course, he's more than willing to kick someone's ass. In fact, just like in Nightfall, he beats Batman in combat and breaks his back. But why is he not higher on the list? Well, for one, his voice is freaking hilarious to listen to.
With myths of opportunity. Gotham is yours. Gotham is yours. Gotham is yours.
And sometimes it's difficult to understand what he's saying.
It and the borrowed time you've all been living on.
What? And here's the big one. Everything about him is false. Everything he said and accomplished most likely weren't his ideas in the first place, which leads me to number 9. Miranda Tate, or as she's better known as
Talia.
Again, born and raised in the pit, or better known as Hell on Earth, Talia, the child of Ras al Ghul, was protected by Bane after her mother died. But once it became obvious to the fellow prisoners that this child was a female, Bane sacrificed himself so that Talia could rise and find her father, who was able to exact vengeance on the prisoners and rescue Bane. But after some time, Ras excommunicated Bane for loving Talia, I guess. I'm not sure in what way, though. It was kind of vague there. Something Talia never forgave Ras for. But now, in the wake of Ras's death, Talia has reunited with Bane and infiltrated Wayne Enterprises under the guise of Miranda Tate, but all the while seeks to finish what her father started, destroy Gotham, and for personal reasons, destroy Batman. Now, why is Talia awesome? Well, she's the true head of the League of Shadows, and she lives up to its name, working in the shadows but still being the one in charge. Of course, that does lead into some problems, which leads me to, why is she not higher on the list? Let's be clear, this version of Talia al Ghul has some really big shoes to fill. She's the only live-action version of Talia al Ghul, period. She's the daughter of Ras al Ghul. And yes, I know, the pronunciation for Ras is actually Raish, but I pronounce it as Ras, so don't kill me for that. Bottom line, she's the daughter of Ras al Ghul. That's a pretty big deal. And to top it off, she is the final boss, not only for The Dark Knight Rises, but for the Nolan Batman trilogy as a whole. And what do we see her do? Not a goddamn thing. Seriously, she said both her and Bane were trained by Ras. And while Bane obviously kicks ass, Talia doesn't fight shit. Am I the only one who thought that a fight between Talia and Anne Hathaway would have been awesome to see? But no, all she does is talk, drive, crash, and have the most Oscar-worthy death scene ever filmed.
My father's work is done.
Yeah, in the words of my mom, she's not getting an Oscar for that one. And another thing, Talia would have won if she had been pragmatic. I mean, I get it. You want to break Batman, fine. But oh no, he's back. You know what you should do right there? Kill him. I mean, what are the henchmen gonna do? They belong to you. Hell, even right there when Batman throws her the gun and Batman's back is turned and he's going all, "Where's the trigger?" Shoot him in the head. Close range, you're good. Hell, Talia didn't even need to reveal herself in the first place. Her plan was already underway. Why waste time? I mean, she spent like 8 minutes explaining backstory when she could have just been like, mean, if she really wanted Bruce to be alive when this happened, she could have just been like, oh yeah, Bruce, by the way, I'm actually the child of Ras al Ghul. Take 30 seconds to let that sink in. Okay, nice knowing you. In short, the execution of her whole plan took too long. I mean, she started this like what, 9 years after Ras al Ghul died? Come on, man. And just a minor nitpick. What exactly is Bane and Talia's relationship? I really hope it wasn't sexual because the dude was an adult when she was a kid. And if he cared about Talia, wouldn't he try to save her mom as well instead of going all, it's okay, let's watch. Oh, look at how creative they are in killing her.
Look at the beautiful colors of the blood.
But if it was a sexual relationship, then props to Ras for throwing him out because that is a very responsible move as a dad. Overall, these two were enjoyable villains in their own right, but it really falls apart when Talia is introduced as a main bad guy, especially since she doesn't do shit.
Maybe my move was too slow.
Moving on. Number 8. Edward Nygma, or as he's better known as,
The Riddler.
Let me calm down, just let me explain. Already demented from the gate, Edward Nygma has a very unhealthy obsession with his employer Bruce Wayne. An obsession that turns into hate when Wayne rejects Nygma's brainwave idea proposal. Testing his invention on himself, he finds that he can essentially use it to read minds and to add to his own intellect. He's able to sell versions of his inventions to consumers under the guise of it being a virtual television, when all it really does is feed Nygma's already genius mind. However, for some reason, he leaves riddles at Bruce Wayne's mansion and creates the Riddler persona to team up with this guy. And they steal stuff and mess with Batman, I guess. But the Riddler actually finds a purpose when his invention uncovers that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Now, why is he awesome? Yeah, I know. He's from the Schumacher Batman age, so it's probably blasphemy to say that anything even remotely relating to Schumacher's Batman age is awesome. But let's not delude ourselves. Both Riddler's plan and machine, especially in this day and age, are freaking ingenious. Riddler steals intelligence from people watching his virtual television sets. Just switch television with social media and you've taken over the planet. Of course, I'm not sure if Riddler would actually become all that more intelligent considering the sheer amount of stupidity online. But you can't lie. If this plan came out today, dude would have won in the end. Now, why is he not higher on the list? When he goes over the top, he really goes over the top. I mean, of course, it's Jim Carrey, so it's to be expected, but there are times where I'm just like, Eddie, what the hell are you doing? Another thing, why does he even help Two-Face against Batman? I mean, at this point, he doesn't even know who Batman is, so what does he have to gain from this? Ah, well, at least he's more enjoyable than Two-Face. Even if he... Moving on. Number 7. Jack Napier, or as he's better known as, Joker. Already a bad egg from the start, Jack Napier was responsible for the deaths of Thomas and Martha Wayne, and almost a young Bruce Wayne himself. Decades later, Napier is second in command to mobster Carl Grissom and is sleeping with Grissom's mistress. However, when Grissom finds out, he sends corrupt cops to kill him while Napier is supposed to raid Axe's chemicals. This, however, was foiled by Commissioner Gordon and Batman. However, when Napier tried to shoot Batman, the bullet ricocheted and shrapnel hit his face, causing him to lose his balance and fall into the chemicals below. Although he survived, his hair was now green, his skin was bleached super duper white, his lips were now ruby red, and a botched attempt at reconstructive surgery left him with a permanent smile. Upon seeing this damage, his already evil mind snapped and he fully became insane. Killing Grissom and usurping his empire, Napier's goal is now to spread terror throughout Gotham, renaming himself the Joker. Now, why is he awesome? He's the Joker. That's all you really need. He's played by Jack Nicholson. That casting is so cool, it's actually kind of unbelievable. Oh yeah, and his laugh is awesome.
I'm glad you did.
Now, why is he not higher on the list? The dude's creepy. I mean, yeah, I know, it's the Joker. It's kind of a prerequisite, but seriously, this shit just really gets out of hand. It gets really uncomfortable after a while. I mean, right here. His creepiness is infecting Vicky Vale. What the hell is happening? And another thing, I know that with this being the Joker, sometimes he just does whatever the hell he wants, but this scene is just wow. I mean, every time I watch this scene, I'm like, Jack, what the hell are you doing? But the biggest reason why the Joker is not higher on the list is ironically something that doesn't really have much to do with the Joker. Let me just say this. I know people are gonna hate me for this, I know for a fact, but I don't like Michael Keaton's Batman.
What?
Now, hear me out. I'm not against the casting of Michael Keaton as Batman, and I'm not against Michael Keaton's performance as Batman. It's just that I hate the fact that this character is always shown from a distance. We are never given a chance to get to know this guy. I know, everyone makes fun of Christian Bale's Batman, but seriously, compared to him, what do we know about Michael Keaton's Batman other than the basics? Batman Begins alone shows in depth why Bruce Wayne does what he does. Keaton's Batman doesn't even come close. Why do I bring this up? Well, it's revealed that the Joker killed Bruce Wayne's parents, right? I mean, ironically, I'm not one of the people who have a problem with the Joker killing Batman's parents as opposed to Joe Chill. My problem is that this revelation leads to the detriment of Batman, both the character and the film. This is revealed 90 minutes into the film. 75% of the film is over, and just now, Batman gets a character arc. I mean, you would think better late than never, right? But no. Guess what this amounts to? Say it if you already know. Not a goddamn thing.
I'm gonna kill you.
You idiot! You made me.
You killed my parents.
What are you talking about?
I made you. You made me first.
I was a kid when I killed your parents. I mean, I say I made you. You gotta say you made me. And how childish can you be? What are you laughing at?
And that's it. Joker was probably gonna die regardless. This revelation was such a waste of time and such a waste of potential that I really wish it wasn't even in the film.
You might join me for a week.
But, moving on. Number 6. Dr. Jonathan Crane. From his first scene, we already know that this guy is bad news. Unlike his comic book counterpart, this version of Jonathan Crane apparently has no tragic backstory to speak of. Dr. Crane enjoyed experimenting on the inmates of Arkham Asylum with his fear toxin, having them constantly mutter "Scarecrow" to themselves, and even once being able to incapacitate Batman himself and set him on fire. However, when Batman turns the fear toxin on Dr. Crane, Crane apparently becomes even more demented than he was before, fully embracing the alter ego of the Scarecrow. And although he has had his run-ins with the law and Batman, he remains one of 2 villains on this list to seemingly get away scot-free.
There's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Now, why is he awesome? Dude is one of the best definitions of lean and mean. He's creepy as hell, but unlike the Joker, Scarecrow keeps it subdued and therefore is much more effective when he takes action. I mean, he's clearly up to no good. I mean, everybody knows it. And they consider him to be harmless right up to the point where he gasses them. Seriously, as I said before, he was able to catch Batman off guard with this. He has no qualms about the deaths of innocents as evidence when he's revealed to be working with Ras al Ghul. But why is he not higher on the list? With everything I said about Scarecrow being so awesomely evil and all that stuff, there was always this question that ran through my head. Why? Why is he so evil? What happened to him that made him this way? What is his motivation? I mean, he thought the League of Shadows was going to hold the city of Gotham to ransom, but did he not care? Did he have an escape plan? And you know, just for the sake of argument, let's just say that the League of Shadows did hold Gotham for ransom. How did he know that the League of Shadows wouldn't use him as a scapegoat if their plans didn't fall through? Whatever. He's still awesome, and I do like the fact that he appears in all 3 films, especially in The Dark Knight Rises, which is just hilarious.
Death by exile.
Moving on. Number 5. Harvey Dent, or as he's better known as
Two-Face, Harvey Two-Face.
Harvey Dent was the man. He was the district attorney, an upstanding citizen, and loving boyfriend of Rachel Dawes. But seriously, dude was so cool that when Gotham citizens wanted Batman arrested, Dent acted as the scapegoat so that the Joker would target him and Batman would take the Joker down. Can you get even more awesome than that? Always making his own luck with his lucky double-headed coin, Dent earned the respect of everybody. But of course, tragedy struck when Joker, using people from inside James Gordon's unit, targeted both Dent and Rachel, which succeeded in killing Rachel and scarring half of Dent's face. With Rachel dead, half of his lucky coin and half of his face destroyed, as well as the Joker going all Emperor on him with
Use your aggressive feelings, boy.
Dent, now calling himself Two-Face, seeks revenge on those who had a hand in Rachel's death, which eventually comes down to himself, Gordon, and of course, Batman. Now, why is he awesome? Two-Face, in my opinion, is a mostly perfect version of a good guy gone bad. Unlike that other guy. Yeah, don't expect him on this list. I really like the fact that The Dark Knight shows how much of a good guy he is. Even when he's threatening a suspect with a gun, his coin is double-headed, so which means at this point in time, he's still not willing to kill anyone. And when he loses Rachel and half his face, it's really heartbreaking. However, once Harvey becomes Two-Face, some problems arise with this character, which leads me to, why is he not higher on the list? Now, I'm perfectly able to believe that such an upstanding person like Harvey would be angry enough to seek revenge against anyone who had a hand in Rachel's death. What I cannot accept is that Harvey would be willing to kill an innocent child, especially just 24 hours after all this happened. Yeah, did anybody else pick up on that? Yeah, in a 24-hour span, Harvey says that he's Batman, gets ambushed by the Joker, gets saved, gets kidnapped, loses Rachel and half his face, winds up in the hospital, talks to Joker, and then goes on a killing spree. Now, I'm not opposed to Harvey's morals deteriorating as time goes on, but do you really mean to tell me that within 24 hours, Harvey is already so far gone that he's willing to murder a child in cold blood? I mean, every time I see this, I'm like, Harvey, what the hell are you doing? It kind of makes me wish that Two-Face was saved as the villain for the third film so that this would be more believable. But at least it's better than the alternative.
Let's see if you bleed green.
Moving on. Number 4.
How do you know so much about me?
Let's just say cats aren't the only ones who are curious.
Oh yeah, buddy.
I don't know about you, Miss Kitty, but I feel so much yummier.
Selina Kyle, or as she's better known as
Catwoman.
Working for the corrupt businessman Max Schreck, Selina Kyle was a very shy and lonely secretary or assistant. Whatever. But her life changes forever when she realizes that the power plant that Max Schreck was working on is far more detrimental to Gotham City than beneficial. When Max Schreck finds her snooping around, he decides that the best way to keep her quiet is to shove her out a window. But then out of nowhere, cats surround Selina's body and resurrect her, but with a twist. She's no longer Selina. All of Selina's inner traits are in the foreground, but so is her newfound mental instability. Creating the alter ego Catwoman, she seeks revenge on Schreck, but also finds that her path intersects with the Penguin, and of course, Batman. Now, why is she awesome? As far as I'm concerned, Michelle Pfeiffer is the best live-action version of Catwoman, period. I especially like the trifecta of performances that Pfeiffer gave. What do I mean by that? Well, she played Selina Kyle, the timid and solitary secretary or assistant.
I'm just an assistant. A secretary.
Whatever. She plays Selina Kyle, the brooding and mentally disturbed lady. And of course, she plays Catwoman, the sensual and outspoken dominatrix. Yes, she's a dominatrix. Look at her outfit, man. I also like that out of everyone on this list, she's the only one who doesn't seem like she likes what she's turned into, even if she doesn't show it much.
Why are you doing this?
Who the hell do you think you are?
I don't know anymore, Bruce.
But what I love is this. Remember how I said I didn't like Michael Keaton's Batman? Well, the best way to fix that is put him in the same room with Selina Kyle. Oh my god, I love these two. The chemistry that they have on screen is so enjoyable that most times I just stop being critical and I just watch. Note, I'm talking about Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne, not Catwoman and Batman. Trust me, I'll get to that. But I like the fact that these two are like, I know you're screwed up, you know I'm screwed up. In fact, that's kind of why we're attracted to each other. We're not really gonna explain what our deal is because it doesn't really matter. I like you, you like me. Let's have sex. But, like all characters, no one is perfect, which leads me to, why is she not higher on the list? Catwoman's main focus is that she wants to kill Max Schreck for pretty much killing her. Fair enough. But man, when she loses her focus, she really loses her focus. I have two examples of this. Number one, it's generally accepted that when Catwoman is in the same vicinity as Batman, they will have some sort of flirtationship at the very least. But boy, are these two not even remotely interesting together. Which makes no sense considering that these people and these people are the same. I mean, Catwoman goes out of her way to mess with Batman. Why? Batman doesn't even seem like he likes her presence. I mean, look at that. Look at that uncomfortable smile. smile. If I smile, maybe she'll go away. I mean, if she knew that Batman was Bruce and she was messing with him on purpose, then that would have been interesting as well as make Batman's bewilderment all the more hilarious. I mean, she's straddling Batman and we're supposed to be all like, oh snap. But no, I'm like, Selina, what the hell are you doing? But she fights him, stabs him, he knocks her off the roof, she gets mad, which leads me to number 2. Catwoman teams up with the Penguin to take Batman down. This is the big villain team up of Batman Returns. And what reason does Catwoman have for this?
Batman napalmed my arm. He knocked me off a building just when I was starting to feel good about myself. I want to play an integral part in his degradation.
Really? He reacted in self-defense. This is entirely your fault. I could go on all day, but just know that the bottom line is Selina is excellent, while Catwoman still needs some work, I guess. And just one more thing. Selina, what the hell are you doing? Selina, what the hell are you doing? Moving on. Number 3, the Joker, Nolan style. Does this guy even need an intro? The criminal, simply calling himself the Joker, claims to just do things, but he actually has a fiendish plan. Although he begins by messing with the mob, he sets his sights on the whole of Gotham, creating elaborate plans to trick anyone going up against him until it's too late. However, the Joker's primary goal is to show that anyone with the right or wrong motivation in this case will become just as evil and ugly as him, and he will stop at nothing to prove it. Now, why is he awesome? The performance. I know it's common knowledge that Heath Ledger was awesome as the Joker. So awesome to the point where everyone tried to imitate him to the point of it being ludicrously annoying. But if you focus on everyone's imitation as opposed to the actual performance, then it's easy to write out how awesome Ledger's performance was as the Joker. And I also love that when he talks about his supposed backstories, I mean, I understand, more than likely, it's bullshit. But if you look close, there might be some actual human emotions in what he's talking about, like disgust.
He turns to me and he says, "Why so serious?"
And sorrow.
I just want to see her smile again. I just want her to know that I don't care about the scars.
Oh yeah, and his laugh is awesome. Now, why is he not higher on the list? The plan in the middle of the film. With such an elaborate plan, something like this was bound to happen. Why was he trying to kill Harvey Dent when his apparent plan was to blow him and Rachel up? For that matter, how did he even know that someone was going to successfully apprehend him and put him in the direct vicinity of Lau and this guy who he was going to blow up to get him and Lau out? And for that matter, he was supposedly trying to kill Harvey Dent. But then later on in the film, his plan was to make Harvey Dent like him so that people in Gotham would lose hope. But why were you trying to kill Harvey? However, all this does not change the fact that the Joker was one hell of a force to be reckoned with, and I'm glad we watched him. Number 2.
Ras al Ghul.
Now, everybody didn't like the fact that Ras al Ghul was played by Japanese actor Ken Watanabe, but me, I had no problem with it. The character was awesome, and he trained Batman's own mentor, Henry Ducard. In fact, we see Ras al Ghul's fighting skills when he goes up against Bruce and dies. Okay. Apparently Ras al Ghul dies like halfway into the film.
But is Ras al Ghul immortal? Are his methods supernatural?
Oh, shit! Number 2, Henry Ducard, or as he's better known as
Ras al Ghul.
Beginning as a mercenary, Henry Ducard worked for a powerful warlord and fell in love with the warlord's daughter and eventually secretly married her. However, when the warlord found out, he sentenced Ducard to the pit, but his daughter took his place in the pit while Ducard was exiled. Ducard then joined the League of Shadows and eventually became Ras al Ghul. Years later, when he became reunited with his daughter who escaped from the pit, Ras unleashed his vengeance upon the inmates of the pit and rescued Bane, but was always reminded about the death of his wife, which as time went on, gave him a very pessimistic view of humanity. Eventually seeing Gotham as a wretched hive of scum and villainy, he saw an excellent opportunity in training Bruce Wayne. Although Bruce has his own reasons for training, Raz's ultimate goal is to use Bruce Wayne to help destroy Gotham once and for all. Now, why is he awesome? In a world full of Talias and fake Mandarins,
Amusing, but pointless.
Ras al Ghul remains the only twist villain in a live-action superhero film to do it 100% right. Even though Ras al Ghul is my number 2 pick, as opposed to my number 1 pick, I don't really have anything negative to say about him, so let's just talk about why he's awesome. He's played by Liam Neeson. Nuff said. I like how, out of every villain, he's the most cultured and soft-spoken, which makes it even more surprising when he turns out to be the villain. But overall, I like how, deep down, he's pretty much the evil version of Batman, which makes sense considering Bruce was so close to becoming like Ra's through vengeance. While Ra's was able to get vengeance for his wife's death, Bruce was simply beaten to the punch, and because of that, Bruce was able to realize that killing was not the way. Ironically, he let Ra's die. But the bottom line is, Ras al Ghul was an excellent foil for Batman. I mean, he trained him, challenged his ideologies, burned down his home with him in it. See, Talia? This is how you reveal your identity to someone and leave them to die. Obviously, he didn't take notes. Moving on. He unleashes fear toxin in Gotham, practically sees the finish line, and faces off one last time against his greatest student before going out in a blaze of glory. Moving on. You might be wondering, okay, who can top them? Well...
It's easier to justify what's bad is good, and I hate to be the bad guy. I just hate to be the bad guy.
Number 1. Oswald Cobblepot, or as he's better known as Penguin! Deformed from birth, Cobblepot was almost immediately abandoned by his parents and left to die, but was saved by penguins. 33 years later, calling himself Penguin, he abducts Max Schreck and blackmails him into apparently helping him reunite with his parents. When Penguin finds that his parents have passed, he rechristens himself as Oswald Cobblepot, wins the sympathy of countless Gothamites, and even gets convinced to run for mayor. However, all of this was just to further the Penguin's true evil plan, which proves that the Penguin is far, far more monstrous than he looks. Now, let me just get the negative stuff about the character out the way. He pretty much resembles the comic book character in name only. In fact, he's more of a killer croc than a Penguin. Max Schreck convinces Penguin to run for mayor, despite Penguin himself calling bullshit on its logic.
Elections happen in November. Is this not late December?
Don't worry about it.
He has a real sick sense of humor.
Still, could be worse. My nose could be gushing blood.
He's a really creepy sexual deviant.
Filling the void. I'd like to fill her void.
Both he and Catwoman see Batman as a problem, but like Catwoman, it's Penguin's fault in the first place, specifically for having the Red Triangle Gang wreak havoc for no discernible reason. He somehow hijacks the Batmobile and goes all Grand Theft Auto on the streets of Gotham, which makes me go, Ozzy, what the hell are you doing? Oh yeah, and he screams a lot.
The word you're looking for is
Now I know what you must be thinking. You had a bunch of negative things to say about Penguin, yet none about Ras. So shouldn't Ras be your number 1 pick? Under normal circumstances, yes. But at least for me, the Penguin has something no other Batman movie villain has. The ability to truly make me feel something. Disgust, fear, and sympathy. Let me talk about fear first. Let me admit this. I cannot watch Batman Returns because the Penguin scares the shit out of me. Yes, I am legitimately terrified of the Penguin.
Well,
and yet I am editing clips of him into this video.
Tragic irony or poetic justice? You tell me.
Balls to the wall, man. That is how much I love this character. Now, why do I fear him? Well, the makeup is insanely gothic, which is the stuff of nightmares. But mainly, it's Danny DeVito's performance. Holy shit, this guy is the man. I never once believed that I was watching an actor portray a character. Every time the Penguin is on screen, I see the Penguin. Well, not the comic book. You get it. Now let me talk about disgust. Why disgust? Because I feel that the Penguin is the most evil live-action Batman movie villain. I mean, his plan is nothing extravagant, but it doesn't detract from how sick and evil it is. Let me explain. The League of Shadows is trying to destroy all of Gotham because they think Gotham is far too corrupt to be saved. The Joker targets people to make a point about if pushed too far, people will snap. Two-Face, regardless of how wrong it is willing to kill a child to make a point about fairness and chance. Penguin, on the other hand, because he was abandoned as a baby, targets the firstborn sons of Gotham and plans to kill them. Not that killing children could ever be justified, but he doesn't do it to make a point of any kind. He's doing it to make himself feel better. How is this not the most evil thing ever? And yet, despite all of this, I still somehow feel sympathy for the Penguin. But not sympathy in the traditional sense. Let me explain. Because of his backstory, Penguin has a lot in common with Batman. I mean, they were both born to rich parents, something horrible happened to them that permanently separated them from their parents, and given the manner in which they were separated, they spend the rest of their lives seeking a catharsis in order to deal with it.
Something wrong?
No. His parents.
Again, this scene direct from Gotham Plaza, where we have just witnessed the emergence
I hope he finds
of
them.
the Penguin Man of the...
I do feel that the Penguin did genuinely want to reunite with his parents, especially when he does seem truly sad when he finds their graves. Of course, if you read the novelization, it's implied that Penguin was the one who killed his parents, so this could all be for show, which does make sense when you think about what he does in the film. Despite clearly being intelligent, he's very juvenile and childish. However, despite all the sympathies I can give him, he is 100% unrepentantly, unapologetically evil. And I understand that he needs to die. In fact, let me read an excerpt from Roger Ebert's review of Downfall. For those who don't know, Downfall is the film where everyone gets those Hitler rants parodies. And no, I'm not trying to make a statement. I'm not trying to compare Penguin to Adolf Hitler or anything like that. I'm just saying that the words that Roger Ebert uses in his review perfectly encapsulate how I feel about the Penguin. And I quote, "Admiration I did not feel. Sympathy I felt in the sense that I would feel it for a rabid dog while accepting that it must be destroyed. And like a rabid dog, that is exactly what the Penguin is deep down, an animal. Like in his death scene, in fact, this is the scene where I truly became afraid of the Penguin. I mean, seriously, that shit just caught me off guard. I mean, like, oh, Catwoman took care of Max Shrek, whoop-de-frickin-do. Oh my God! He rises out of the water, sees a target, and immediately goes in for the kill. He doesn't even seem to process that his target is Batman with his mask off. Does he even know who he's talking to? Even when he talks, he doesn't even seem to acknowledge who this person is. That's how far gone the Penguin is at this point. Bottom line is, with all of his complexities, being sympathetic by default but evil by nature, Penguin is my #1 favorite Batman movie villain.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And that's all I had to say. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 list. Comment if you want me to do any more top 10 lists, because I actually think I want to do more top 10 lists, especially since top 10 lists are the big thing nowadays. So yeah, I might as well, put my spin on it. So that's all I had to say. Thank you for watching, and I'm the methodical Triple A. Peace.